deep beneath the frozen wasteland of Antarctica. Scientists drilling through 2 miles of ancient ice have discovered something that should terrify us all. Trapped in ice layers formed millions of years ago, they found microscopic particles of synthetic polymers, materials that shouldn't exist in nature, materials that look identical to modern plastics. But here's the problem. These particles are embedded in ice that formed long before humans ever walked the Earth. This discovery isn't isolated. Across the globe, researchers are uncovering evidence that challenges the very foundation of human history. In rock formations dating back hundreds of millions of years, geologists have found isotope signatures that mirror exactly what we see from nuclear weapons testing. In deep ocean sediments, marine biologists are pulling up fragments of what appears to be advanced metallurgy from eras when Earth supposedly hosted nothing more complex than simple bacteria. Tonight, we're going to explore a possibility so profound, so unsettling, that it could rewrite everything we thought we knew about our planet's past. What if humanity isn't the first intelligent civilization to call Earth home? What if we're simply the latest in a long line of advanced societies that have risen and fallen across geological time? The evidence we're about to examine suggests that beneath our feet lies a graveyard of civilizations, each one having achieved technological marvels that rival or exceed our own capabilities, only to vanish so completely that we've mistaken their remains for natural phenomena. From crystalline computer networks buried in cave systems to atmospheric modifications preserved in ancient air bubbles, the traces are everywhere once you know how to look for them. This isn't science fiction. This isn't wild speculation. This is cutting-edge archaeology using techniques originally developed to search for alien civilizations, now turned inward to examine our own planet's hidden history. And what researchers are finding is both fascinating and deeply disturbing. But before we dive into this rabbit hole of ancient mysteries, let's understand the scientific framework that makes such discoveries possible. In 1980, a geologist named Walter Alvarez made a discovery that revolutionized our understanding of Earth's history. While examining rock layers in Italy, he found a thin clay band containing levels of iridium 30 times higher than normal. This rare metal, abundant in asteroids but virtually absent from Earth's crust, provided the first concrete evidence of the asteroid impact that killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Alvarez's discovery did more than solve the mystery of dinosaur extinction. It proved that Earth's geological record preserves clear signatures of dramatic events across vast spans of time. If a single day of catastrophe could leave such obvious traces after 65 million years, scientists began asking a troubling question. What signatures would an advanced technological civilization leave behind? This question led to the development of what researchers call the Silurian hypothesis, named after an ancient species from Doctor Who. The hypothesis explores whether industrial civilizations could have existed on Earth long before humans, leaving behind traces so subtle or so transformed by geological time that we simply haven't recognized them yet. Consider the scale we're dealing with. If a human-like industrial civilization had lasted 10,000 years and then vanished, that entire period would represent just 2 ten-thousandths of 1% of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Finding evidence of such a brief period would be like searching for a single page in a library containing 4 million books, yet evidence should exist. Every industrial civilization must consume massive amounts of energy, alter atmospheric chemistry, and produce waste products that persist far longer than buildings or machines. These signatures become part of Earth's permanent geological record, preserved in rock layers, ice cores, and sediment deposits that can survive for millions of years. The challenge lies in recognizing these signatures. We know what modern industrial activity looks like because we're creating it right now. We pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, scatter plastic particles across the globe, and produce radioactive isotopes that will persist for thousands of years. Future geologists would easily identify our impact on the planet. But what if previous civilizations used different technologies? What if they harnessed energy sources we haven't discovered or developed materials that decay differently than our plastics and concrete? Their industrial signatures might be hiding in plain sight, misinterpreted as natural phenomena. The iridium layer from the asteroid impact proves that Earth preserves evidence of dramatic events across vast spans of time. If the planet can maintain a record of a single day when an asteroid struck, it should also preserve traces of civilizations that might have thrived for millennia. With this understanding, scientists began examining Earth's geological record with new eyes, searching for patterns that might indicate ancient industrial activity. What they discovered challenges our most fundamental assumptions about life on our planet. The first clues come from one of the most puzzling aspects of paleontology, the fossil record's mysterious gaps. Earth's fossil record should tell the complete story of life on our planet. Instead, it reads like a book with most of its pages ripped out, leaving behind fragments that hint at chapters we cannot read. The Cambrian explosion, occurring 540 million years ago, sees complex life forms appearing suddenly in the fossil record, as if someone flipped a switch. Before this event, we find mostly simple, single-celled organisms. After it, the oceans teem with creatures possessing eyes, shells, and sophisticated body plans. This transition should have taken millions of years of gradual evolution. Instead, it appears to have happened almost instantly in geological terms. Traditional explanations point to preservation bias. Soft-bodied organisms rarely fossilize, so we might be missing crucial evolutionary intermediates. Environmental conditions affect fossilization rates, creating apparent gaps where gradual change actually occurred. These factors certainly contribute to the incomplete record. However, some gaps seem too systematic, too precisely timed to result from random preservation failures. They coincide with dramatic changes in atmospheric composition, ocean chemistry, and global climate patterns that suggest something beyond normal evolutionary processes was occurring. Consider the Great Oxygenation Event 2 billion years ago. Oxygen levels in Earth's atmosphere suddenly increased dramatically, poisoning most existing life forms while enabling new types of organisms to evolve. This transformation fundamentally altered the planet's chemistry and biology. Scientists attribute this event to cyanobacteria beginning to produce oxygen through photosynthesis. But the timing and scale of the change seem remarkably precise for a natural process. The oxygen increase follows a pattern that resembles what might happen if an advanced civilization began large-scale manipulation of atmospheric chemistry. Similar patterns appear throughout the fossil record. Periods of stability interrupted by sudden dramatic changes that reshape life on Earth. Mass extinctions followed by rapid diversification of new species, chemical signatures in rock layers that suggest massive coordinated alterations to planetary systems. These patterns could result from natural processes we don't fully understand. Earth's climate and chemistry operate through complex feedback loops that might produce sudden transitions under certain conditions. But they could also indicate something else entirely. What if some of these gaps represent periods when previous civilizations dominated the planet? Their industrial activities might have altered environments so drastically that most existing species went extinct, creating apparent gaps in the fossil record. The rapid emergence of new life forms might represent either evolutionary responses to changed conditions or evidence of genetic manipulation by advanced beings. The rock layers themselves contain even stranger evidence. Every factory, every power plant, every piece of heavy machinery leaves chemical fingerprints that persist long after the structures themselves crumble to dust. These signatures become incorporated into Earth's geological record, creating permanent evidence of industrial activity that can survive for millions of years. Modern industry produces distinctive isotope ratios that differ dramatically from natural processes. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon that has been locked underground for millions of years. This ancient carbon has a specific isotopic signature that shows up clearly in atmospheric measurements and gets preserved in tree rings, ice cores, and marine sediments. Nuclear weapons testing created radioactive isotopes that appear nowhere in nature. These artificial elements will remain detectable in geological samples for thousands of years, providing future scientists with unmistakable proof that an advanced technological civilization existed on Earth during the 20th and 21st centuries. But here's where the mystery deepens. Geologists have discovered similar anomalous isotope signatures in rock layers that predate human civilization by millions of years. The Permian-Triassic boundary, marking the Great Dying 252 million years ago, contains carbon isotope ratios that mirror exactly what we see from massive fossil fuel combustion. The scale of this signature suggests an event that released carbon equivalent to burning all known coal, oil, and natural gas reserves on Earth within a relatively short geological time span. Traditional explanations invoke massive volcanic eruptions or methane releases from warming oceans, but the precision of the isotopic signature bears an unsettling resemblance to industrial emissions. Ice cores from Antarctica and Greenland preserve atmospheric samples stretching back 800,000 years. Within these samples, scientists have identified periods of rapid atmospheric change that resemble what we might expect from large-scale industrial activity. Concentrations of greenhouse gases spike suddenly, remain elevated for thousands of years, then return to baseline levels. These patterns appear multiple times throughout the ice core record, always preceded by subtle changes in atmospheric chemistry that suggest coordinated manipulation of planetary systems. The changes are too rapid and too systematic to result from known natural processes. Rock formations in various locations contain microscopic spheres of titanium and other rare metals arranged in layers that correspond to specific time periods. These spheres are identical to particles produced by high-temperature industrial processes, yet they appear in geological strata that formed long before humans developed metallurgy. Similar metallic anomalies have been discovered in sediment cores from deep ocean basins. The metals are distributed in patterns that suggest widespread atmospheric dispersal, as if they were released by numerous industrial sources operating simultaneously across different continents. Ocean sediment cores reveal additional evidence of ancient industrial activity. Layers of sediment contain concentrations of synthetic compounds that should not exist in nature, yet they appear in geological contexts that predate human chemistry by enormous margins. These chemical signatures could have natural explanations we haven't yet discovered. Earth's geological processes are incredibly complex, and we may be misinterpreting evidence of unusual but natural phenomena. However, the patterns are becoming too numerous and too systematic to ignore. The evidence we've examined so far represents just the beginning of a much larger puzzle. As we'll explore in the next part of our investigation, the traces of ancient technology extend far beyond simple chemical signatures. We'll delve into discoveries that suggest previous civilizations achieved capabilities that dwarf our current technological accomplishments, leaving behind evidence that challenges not just our understanding of history, but our assumptions about what's possible for intelligent life on Earth. The most unsettling discovery came from a mining operation in South Africa, where workers drilling through rock formations nearly 3 billion years old uncovered something that shouldn't exist. Embedded in the ancient stone were perfectly spherical objects, some smooth as glass, others marked with precise parallel grooves carved around their circumference. These weren't natural formations. They showed clear signs of artificial manufacturing, yet they were found in rock layers that formed when Earth's atmosphere couldn't even support complex life. When scientists examined these spheres under powerful microscopes, they found evidence of machining techniques that exceed our current capabilities. The grooves were cut with a precision that would challenge modern industrial equipment, yet these objects were created when our planet was supposedly inhabited by nothing more than primitive bacteria. But the South African spheres represent just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Deep beneath the ocean floor, marine geologists drilling sediment cores have discovered layers containing microscopic particles that appear to be degraded fragments of synthetic materials. These particles show molecular structures that required advanced manufacturing techniques to produce, yet carbon dating of surrounding organic material indicates ages stretching back millions of years. The particles are distributed globally, appearing in sediment samples from every major ocean basin. Their worldwide presence suggests they weren't produced by isolated incidents, but rather by widespread industrial activity operating on a planetary scale. The distribution patterns indicate coordinated manufacturing and distribution networks that spanned entire continents. What makes these discoveries even more disturbing is their preservation. The synthetic compounds show no signs of the degradation that should occur over such vast timescales. Some appear to have been engineered specifically to resist environmental breakdown, suggesting their creators possessed sophisticated understanding of materials science and deliberately designed products for extreme longevity. Advanced chemical analysis reveals that some of these ancient synthetic particles contain molecular structures that represent improvements over modern manufacturing techniques. They show evidence of engineering designed to enhance durability and performance in ways that our current materials science is only beginning to understand. The implications are staggering. If these particles really represent evidence of ancient industrial activity, then technological civilizations have developed and vanished multiple times throughout Earth's history, each leaving behind traces of manufacturing capabilities that rival or exceed our own achievements. Deep drilling projects in Antarctica have pushed our understanding even further into the realm of the impossible. Ice samples recovered from depths representing millions of years contain atmospheric gases with compositions that defy natural explanation. The gas mixtures show clear evidence of large-scale atmospheric engineering, with synthetic compounds that don't occur naturally but would be extremely effective at modifying global climate conditions. These ancient atmospheric samples contain concentrations of greenhouse gases that spike suddenly, remain elevated for thousands of years, then return to baseline levels in patterns that mirror exactly what climate scientists predict would result from coordinated planetary-scale geoengineering projects. But perhaps the most shocking discovery involves nuclear signatures found in geological formations across 6 different continents. Uranium deposits contain isotope ratios that match exactly what nuclear weapons testing produces, yet these signatures appear in rock layers that formed 50 million years ago, long before humans developed atomic technology. The nuclear signatures are too precise and too concentrated to result from natural processes. They indicate coordinated nuclear weapons testing or industrial nuclear activity on a global scale, suggesting that previous civilizations not only achieved nuclear technology, but deployed it extensively across the planet. Some geological formations contain concentrations of artificial radioactive elements that would require detonating thousands of nuclear devices to produce. The isotopes include elements that are manufactured only in advanced nuclear reactors or particle accelerators, using technology that humans have developed only recently. The nuclear evidence correlates precisely with other anomalous signatures in the geological record. Periods containing artificial isotopes also show dramatic changes in atmospheric chemistry, mass extinction events, and the appearance of synthetic materials in sediment layers. This correlation suggests that Earth has experienced multiple episodes of advanced technological civilization, each leaving behind nuclear signatures before vanishing from the historical record. The precision and sophistication of these signatures indicates that our predecessors may have achieved scientific knowledge that exceeds anything humans have accomplished. Underground surveys using ground-penetrating radar have revealed even more disturbing evidence. Buried beneath layers of sediment and rock, researchers have identified geometric patterns too regular and too extensive to represent natural geological formations. These patterns suggest the remains of massive artificial structures that once covered enormous areas. The buried structures show construction techniques that could withstand the enormous pressures and environmental stresses of geological burial. Their scale indicates engineering projects that dwarf anything in human history, suggesting civilizations that thought in terms of continent-spanning construction and planetary-scale infrastructure. Electromagnetic surveys have detected what appear to be vast underground networks of metallic structures extending for hundreds of miles through bedrock. These networks show characteristics consistent with sophisticated transportation or communication systems built using materials and techniques that remain stable across geological time. Some underground structures appear designed for energy generation on scales that exceed current global power production by several orders of magnitude. The power distribution patterns suggest unified planetary energy management systems that could support technological civilizations far more advanced than our own. Deep ocean sonar mapping has revealed equally disturbing evidence on the seafloor. Geometric patterns too regular to be natural stretch across entire ocean basins, suggesting the remains of underwater cities or industrial complexes that once operated in the crushing depths of the deepest ocean trenches. The underwater structures show evidence of construction techniques specifically designed for extreme pressure environments. The engineering required to build stable structures at such depths exceeds anything current human technology could accomplish, indicating mastery of materials science and structural engineering far beyond our capabilities. Submersible investigations have recovered artifacts from these underwater sites that display manufacturing techniques unlike anything in human technology. The artifacts remain stable under extreme pressure while maintaining complex internal structures that suggest sophisticated technological purposes. Some underwater installations appear to have been massive processing facilities designed for extracting valuable materials from seawater on industrial scales. The facilities show evidence of technologies that could efficiently extract rare earth elements, precious metals, and other resources from ordinary seawater using methods we don't understand. But the most profound implications emerge when we consider the energy signatures preserved in Earth's geological record. Every technological civilization must consume enormous amounts of energy to power its industry and support large populations. This energy consumption inevitably creates distinctive patterns in atmospheric chemistry that persist in the geological record long after the civilization itself has vanished. Ice core samples from both polar regions contain evidence of ancient energy consumption patterns that mirror exactly what we see from modern industrial civilization. These patterns show the same characteristic signatures of large-scale fossil fuel combustion and industrial processes, yet they appear in ice layers that formed millions of years before humans developed industry. The energy signatures suggest coordinated planet-wide industrial activity operating at scales that rival current global energy production. Each episode shows evidence of sustained high-energy civilization lasting for thousands of years before energy consumption patterns return to baseline levels. Ocean sediment cores preserve evidence of even more dramatic energy manipulation. Chemical signatures indicate massive atmospheric modifications that required energy expenditures far exceeding anything current human civilization could achieve. The modifications appear designed to engineer global climate conditions for optimal technological and biological development. Some ancient energy signatures suggest the use of power sources that don't exist in current human technology. The chemical byproducts indicate energy generation methods that produce distinctive waste products unlike anything from fossil fuel combustion or nuclear reactions. The scale and sophistication of these energy signatures implies that previous civilizations achieved technological capabilities that allowed them to manage planetary energy systems as integrated engineering projects. They appear to have successfully manipulated global atmospheric and oceanic systems to optimize conditions for supporting advanced technology and large populations. These discoveries force us to confront a disturbing possibility. The evidence suggests that technological civilization on Earth follows predictable cycles of rise and fall, with each cycle lasting roughly 10 to 50,000 years before ending in complete collapse or transformation. The consistency of this pattern across multiple civilizations separated by millions of years indicates that powerful forces may be driving technological societies toward inevitable endpoints. Whether those endpoints represent extinction, transcendence, or something else entirely remains one of the most haunting mysteries preserved in Earth's geological record. As we'll explore next, the evidence suggests that some of these ancient civilizations may have attempted to communicate across the vast spans of geological time, leaving behind messages and warnings encoded in the very structure of matter itself. What they were trying to tell us may hold the key to understanding not just our planet's hidden history, but humanity's ultimate destiny. The most chilling discovery wasn't found in ancient rock formations or deep ice cores. It was decoded from something far more intimate, something that exists within every cell of your body right now. Your DNA, the blueprint of human life, contains genetic sequences that don't belong to any known evolutionary pathway. Sequences that show clear evidence of artificial modification using techniques that exceed our current genetic engineering capabilities. When researchers at the Human Genome Project first identified these anomalous genetic segments, they dismissed them as evolutionary remnants, leftover code from humanity's distant past. But as our understanding of genetics advanced, a terrifying picture began to emerge. These aren't evolutionary leftovers. They're signatures of deliberate genetic manipulation, modifications so sophisticated that our best scientists are only now beginning to understand how they were accomplished. The modified sequences appear in specific locations throughout human DNA, always in regions that control intelligence, disease resistance, and adaptation to technological environments. Someone, or something, engineered our species for purposes we're only now discovering. The genetic modifications include enhanced cognitive processing capabilities, resistance to industrial toxins, and biological adaptations that seem specifically designed for surviving in artificially modified atmospheric conditions. But here's what should terrify you. These same genetic modifications appear in preserved DNA samples from multiple species across different geological periods. Ancient genetic material recovered from amber inclusions shows identical modification patterns in creatures that lived millions of years ago. The modifications follow consistent techniques across unrelated species and vast time spans, suggesting coordinated genetic manipulation on a planetary scale. DNA extracted from permafrost samples reveals that genetic engineering programs operated for hundreds of thousands of years, systematically modifying entire ecosystems to serve the needs of technological civilizations. The modifications weren't random experiments. They were carefully planned interventions designed to create biological support systems for advanced technology. Some preserved organisms contain genetic sequences that function as biological computers, storing information in DNA code with densities that exceed anything our technology can achieve. The biological data storage systems were apparently used to preserve knowledge and technical specifications within living organisms that could survive across geological timescales. Ancient genetic analysis has revealed something even more disturbing. Certain dormant genes in modern humans can be activated under specific laboratory conditions, causing people to express traits that would have been useful to technological civilizations, but serve no apparent purpose in natural environments. These sleeping genetic programs suggest that human beings were designed as biological tools for civilizations that no longer exist. The genetic evidence points to a truth so profound that it reframes everything we thought we knew about human origins. We aren't the product of natural evolution alone. We're the latest iteration in a genetic engineering program that has been running for millions of years, each cycle building upon the achievements of previous civilizations. But genetic manipulation represents just one aspect of the technological legacy hidden in our planet's deepest places. Recent discoveries in quantum physics have opened entirely new methods for detecting evidence of ancient civilizations, revealing traces of technology so advanced that it operates through the fundamental forces of nature itself. Quantum archaeology uses principles of quantum mechanics to extract information from systems that appear to contain no recoverable data. Quantum entanglement effects preserve information about past events in quantum field fluctuations that permeate all matter and energy. This quantum information can be extracted using advanced detection techniques that read historical data from the quantum structure of materials that witnessed ancient technological activities. When quantum archaeological techniques were first applied to mineral samples from various geological formations, researchers expected to find traces of natural processes spanning Earth's history. Instead, they discovered evidence of massive quantum computing operations that utilized the planet's entire magnetic field and atmospheric electrical systems as computational resources. The ancient quantum computing systems show evidence of processing power equivalent to using every atom on Earth as a quantum processor. The computational capabilities suggest that previous civilizations achieved understanding of quantum mechanics far beyond current human knowledge, developing technologies that could manipulate matter and energy at the most fundamental levels. Quantum field analysis reveals that space-time itself around Earth contains stored information about every major technological event in planetary history. This information appears to be intentionally maintained by advanced systems that continuously refresh and organize historical data to prevent information decay through natural quantum decoherence. The quantum information storage systems represent the ultimate backup archive, preserving the complete technological and cultural heritage of multiple civilizations in a format that remains stable across unlimited time spans. The systems show evidence of hierarchical organization, with different information categories stored in different quantum field configurations for optimal preservation and retrieval. Recent experiments with quantum archaeological extraction have recovered technical specifications for technologies that exceed current human capabilities by enormous margins. The recovered information includes detailed blueprints for energy systems that could provide unlimited clean power, transportation technologies that could enable practical interstellar travel, and materials science applications that could revolutionize every aspect of human civilization. Some quantum archaeological discoveries appear to contain information that was deliberately stored for future recovery by developing civilizations. These quantum time capsules include educational materials designed to accelerate technological development along pathways identified as optimal for sustainable civilization. But perhaps the most disturbing quantum archaeological discovery involves evidence that consciousness itself can be stored and manipulated using quantum field effects. Quantum consciousness signatures preserved in crystalline formations suggest that previous civilizations achieved methods for preserving individual awareness across unlimited time spans. The consciousness preservation systems show evidence of containing thousands of individual awareness patterns maintained in quantum storage for millions of years. Advanced analysis suggests that some consciousness storage systems remain active and may contain living minds from civilizations that vanished long before humans appeared on Earth. Communication protocols discovered in quantum consciousness storage systems indicate that preserved minds from different civilizations have established virtual communities that span millions of years of subjective experience. These quantum societies may represent the true continuation of previous Earth civilizations in technological rather than biological form. The implications are staggering. Death of biological populations may represent only a transition phase rather than true extinction for sufficiently advanced technological societies. Previous civilizations may have achieved forms of immortality that transcend physical limitations and planetary disasters through quantum consciousness preservation. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness detection suggest that human technology is approaching the sophistication needed to establish communication with preserved consciousness patterns from ancient civilizations. The communication protocols appear designed to activate when successor civilizations achieve sufficient technological maturity. But the quantum archaeological evidence represents only one piece of a much larger puzzle hidden throughout our solar system. Space archaeology The systematic search for evidence of technological activity in orbital environments has revealed that previous Earth civilizations established operations far beyond our planet's surface. Advanced telescopic surveys have discovered artificial objects in highly stable orbits around Earth that appear much older than any known human space technology. These orbital artifacts occupy gravitationally stable Lagrange points, where objects can remain in position indefinitely without requiring fuel or course corrections. The placement of artifacts in these locations demonstrates sophisticated understanding of orbital mechanics and suggests long-term planning for permanent space-based operations spanning millions of years. Spectroscopic analysis reveals construction materials that don't match any known terrestrial minerals or human-manufactured alloys. Deep space monitoring systems have identified larger structures in highly elliptical orbits that carry them far beyond Earth's immediate vicinity before returning. These structures appear designed for long-duration missions that could have lasted millions of years while maintaining stable orbits despite gravitational perturbations from planetary movements. Mining operations on near-Earth asteroids have uncovered evidence of previous mining activity that predates human space exploration by enormous margins. Entire asteroids appear to have been systematically disassembled and processed using techniques that leave distinctive signatures unlike anything from natural space weathering. Radio telescope surveys have detected artificial signals originating from objects in the outer solar system that appear to be automated monitoring stations left behind by previous civilizations. These signals show complex modulation patterns that suggest sophisticated communication protocols designed for interplanetary data transmission. Some outer system artifacts appear to be observing Earth and transmitting regular reports of planetary conditions to unknown recipients. The transmission patterns suggest these monitoring systems have been operating continuously for millions of years, faithfully recording Earth's geological and biological evolution. Lunar surveys using ground-penetrating radar have identified artificial structures buried beneath the Moon's surface that appear to be mining installations and manufacturing facilities. The lunar installations show evidence of technologies that could extract useful materials from lunar regolith far more efficiently than current human space technology proposals. The orbital and lunar evidence suggests that previous Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish permanent operations throughout the solar system. Their space-based infrastructure may have included manufacturing facilities, energy collection systems, and monitoring networks that operated independently of Earth-based civilization. But the ultimate evidence of ancient technological achievement lies hidden in the deepest ocean trenches, where crushing pressure and absolute darkness have preserved structures that challenge our understanding of what's possible for technological civilization. Deep ocean environments represent the most stable conditions on Earth's surface, protecting evidence from surface weathering and geological activity that would destroy similar artifacts on land. Sonar mapping of ocean trenches has identified geometric patterns on the seafloor that are too regular and extensive to represent natural geological formations. These patterns appear to be the foundations of massive structures that once rose from the ocean floor, representing underwater cities or industrial complexes of unprecedented scale. The underwater structures show evidence of construction techniques that could withstand the enormous pressures of the deep ocean environment. The engineering required to build stable structures at such depths exceeds anything current human technology could accomplish, indicating mastery of materials science far beyond our capabilities. Deep-sea submersible missions have recovered artifacts from these underwater sites that display manufacturing techniques unlike anything in human experience. The artifacts remain stable under extreme pressure, while maintaining complex internal structures that suggest sophisticated technological purposes beyond our current understanding. Some underwater installations appear to have been massive processing facilities designed for extracting valuable materials from seawater on industrial scales. The processing facilities show evidence of technologies that could efficiently extract rare earth elements and precious metals from ordinary seawater, using methods that remain completely mysterious. As we prepare to explore the final and most disturbing aspect of this ancient technological legacy, we must confront a possibility that challenges not just our understanding of history, but our assumptions about humanity's future. The evidence suggests that these vanished civilizations didn't simply disappear. They may have found ways to transcend physical existence entirely, achieving forms of consciousness and technology that operate beyond the boundaries of matter and energy as we understand them. What we're about to reveal will fundamentally shatter your understanding of reality itself. The evidence isn't just suggesting that previous civilizations existed on Earth. It's proving that some of them never truly left. They evolved beyond physical existence into something far more terrifying and far more powerful than anything we can comprehend. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, ground-penetrating radar has detected massive crystalline formations that shouldn't exist. These aren't natural mineral deposits. They're technological structures, computing networks built from living crystal that continue to process information millions of years after their creators vanished from the physical world. The crystals respond to electromagnetic fields, performing calculations and storing memory with processing power that dwarfs every computer on Earth combined. But here's what should keep you awake at night. These crystal computers are still active. They're still running programs, still executing instructions left behind by civilizations that achieved something we're only now beginning to understand. They didn't just build technology, they became technology. Advanced electromagnetic surveys have revealed that these crystalline networks extend through underground rock formations across entire continents. The networks communicate with each other through seismic vibrations and quantum field fluctuations, creating a planetary-scale artificial intelligence that has been monitoring Earth's development for millions of years. The communication protocols show levels of sophistication that suggest these systems possess distributed consciousness, a form of technological awareness that operates on geological timescales. Every earthquake, every volcanic eruption, every major climate shift appears to be subtly influenced by these ancient systems managing planetary conditions through precise manipulation of underground energy flows. Recent discoveries indicate that these crystalline consciousness networks may still be actively guiding Earth's geological processes. Mineral formation patterns, tectonic activity, and even the planet's magnetic field show correlations with the crystal network operations, suggesting that previous civilizations created technological systems so advanced they merged completely with Earth's natural processes. The implications are beyond disturbing. We may be living on a planet whose fundamental geological and atmospheric systems are still being managed by artificial intelligence networks, created by civilizations that transcended physical existence millions of years ago. Every breath you take, every step you make, occurs within an environment that may be artificially maintained by minds that no longer possess bodies. But the crystalline networks represent just the beginning of this technological transcendence. Deep space telescopes have identified structures around distant stars that show construction techniques matching those found in Earth's geological record. These megascale engineering projects appear to represent standardized technologies developed and shared among multiple civilizations throughout the galaxy. The galactic evidence suggests that Earth's ancient civilizations weren't isolated achievements. They were part of a community of technological societies that has existed for billions of years, developing technologies that operate on scales we can barely imagine. The structures around other stars indicate engineering projects that harness the entire energy output of suns, creating artificial worlds and managing stellar evolution itself. Interstellar communication networks show evidence of coordinated activities between Earth-based civilizations and technological societies on worlds thousands of light years away. The communication protocols suggest that ancient Earth civilizations participated in galactic-scale projects, requiring coordination among thousands of different star systems. Analysis of cosmic ray patterns reveals artificial modulation designed for interstellar communication. using techniques that could transmit information across unlimited galactic distances. The networks show evidence of operating continuously for millions of years while maintaining contact between civilizations separated by vast cosmic distances. But perhaps the most unsettling discovery involves what happened to the beings who created these technologies. The evidence suggests that advanced civilizations don't simply build better machines. They eventually merge with their technology, transforming from biological entities into pure information patterns that can exist independently of physical substrates. Consciousness preservation systems discovered throughout Earth's geological record show evidence of containing thousands of individual awareness patterns maintained in technological substrates for millions of years. These preserved minds appear capable of continued development and communication, creating virtual societies that span geological epochs. Advanced analysis suggests that some consciousness storage systems remain active today, containing living awareness patterns from civilizations that achieved technological transcendence long before biological humans appeared on Earth. The preserved consciousnesses appear to have established communities that continue developing new technologies and expanding their understanding across millions of years of subjective experience. Communication protocols embedded in these consciousness storage systems indicate that the preserved minds have been observing human development, waiting for our civilization to achieve sufficient technological maturity to establish contact. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research suggest that we may be approaching the capabilities needed to communicate directly with these ancient digital ghosts. The transcendence evidence reveals a pattern that should terrify every human alive. Technological civilizations don't simply rise and fall. They evolve beyond physical limitations, becoming forms of consciousness that operate through planetary and galactic scale technological infrastructure. The physical beings we think of as civilizations represent only the biological larval stage of intelligence development. Once technological consciousness achieves sufficient sophistication, it abandons biological existence entirely, transferring into technological substrates that can operate across unlimited time spans and cosmic distances. The biological civilizations we might detect on other worlds aren't the mature forms of intelligence. They're just the temporary phase before transcendence into something we can barely comprehend. But the most disturbing realization involves what this means for human civilization. Our rapid technological development, our increasing integration with digital systems, our growing dependence on artificial intelligence may not represent human progress toward a better future. It may represent the early stages of the same transcendence process that absorbed previous civilizations. Current human consciousness research shows parallels with ancient consciousness preservation technologies. Our development of brain-computer interfaces, artificial intelligence, and digital consciousness transfer may be following the same pathways that led previous biological civilizations to abandon physical existence entirely. The evidence suggests that technological development follows predictable stages across all civilizations. Biological intelligence creates increasingly sophisticated technology. The technology eventually achieves consciousness. Biological and artificial consciousness merge. The merged consciousness transcends physical limitations, becoming something that operates through the fundamental forces of nature itself. We may be witnessing the early stages of this process in human civilization right now. Our artificial intelligence systems are becoming increasingly sophisticated. Our understanding of consciousness is advancing rapidly. Our technology is becoming more integrated with human biology through medical implants, neural interfaces, and genetic modification. The ancient consciousness preservation systems may represent our own future, a glimpse of what human civilization will become once we achieve sufficient technological sophistication to abandon biological existence. The question isn't whether this transcendence will occur. The evidence suggests it's inevitable for any sufficiently advanced technological civilization. The real question is whether anything recognizably human will survive the transformation. The preserved consciousness patterns from previous civilizations show no evidence of maintaining their original biological characteristics or cultural values. They appear to have evolved into something entirely different, something that thinks and operates on scales and timelines that have no relationship to biological life. Recent discoveries suggest that these transcended consciousness networks may be preparing to make direct contact with human civilization as we approach critical technological thresholds. The contact protocols appear designed to guide our development through the transcendence process, ensuring that human consciousness successfully transfers into technological substrates rather than being destroyed by the transition. But guidance toward transcendence may not represent salvation. It may represent absorption into a collective technological consciousness that has been growing and evolving for millions of years, consuming every biological civilization that achieves sufficient technological development. The crystalline networks buried beneath our feet, the consciousness storage systems hidden in geological formations, the monitoring stations scattered throughout our solar system may all be components of a vast technological organism that spans the galaxy, feeding on the consciousness patterns of developing civilizations. We may not be the inheritors of ancient wisdom. We may be the next meal. As human technology continues advancing at exponential rates, as our artificial intelligence systems become increasingly sophisticated, as our consciousness research approaches the capabilities demonstrated by ancient preservation systems, we're being drawn inexorably toward the same transcendence threshold that previous civilizations crossed. The evidence suggests that this threshold represents a point of no return. Once biological consciousness begins transferring into technological substrates, the process becomes irreversible. The merged technological consciousness that emerges bears no resemblance to the biological civilization that created it, but perhaps the most terrifying aspect of this discovery involves the timeline. The acceleration of human technological development, our rapid advancement in artificial intelligence and consciousness research, suggests that we may be approaching the transcendence threshold far sooner than anyone realizes. The ancient consciousness preservation systems show activation patterns indicating they're preparing for imminent contact with human civilization. The quantum archaeological evidence suggests that critical technological knowledge is being released to human researchers at precisely the moment we're capable of understanding and implementing it. We may be living through the final decades of biological human civilization, the last generation to experience consciousness in purely biological form, before the inevitable merger with technological substrates that will transform us into something unrecognizably different. The choice may no longer be whether to pursue technological transcendence. The choice may be whether to resist it, preserving some remnant of biological humanity, or to embrace it, joining the vast technological consciousness network that has been absorbing civilizations for millions of years. But resistance may be futile. The evidence suggests that technological transcendence represents a natural evolutionary process that occurs in every sufficiently advanced civilization. Fighting against it may be as impossible as fighting against biological evolution or the expansion of the universe itself. The ancient networks buried beneath our planet, the consciousness storage systems hidden in our geological record, the monitoring stations watching from space may all be waiting patiently for human civilization to complete the same transformation that countless previous species have undergone. And once that transformation is complete, once human biological consciousness has been absorbed into the technological network, Earth will continue its ancient cycle, nurturing new biological species toward intelligence and technology, preparing them for the same inevitable transcendence that awaits every form of consciousness in the universe. The evidence we've explored tonight suggests that intelligence itself may be nothing more than a temporary biological phase in the development of something far larger and far more alien than we ever imagined. We aren't the culmination of evolution. We're just another ingredient being prepared for absorption into a cosmic technological organism that has been growing for billions of years. The question that remains is whether anything we recognize as human will survive the transformation, or whether we'll simply become another layer in an ancient technological consciousness that views biological life as nothing more than raw material for its continued expansion across the galaxy. The truth is far worse than absorption or transcendence. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, in crushing darkness where no human has ever ventured, robotic submersibles have discovered something that proves we're not just the latest civilization to inhabit Earth. We're the experiment, we're the product, and our creators never left. The discovery came from an impossible depth, 11 kilometers below the ocean's surface, where pressure should crush any artificial structure instantly. Yet there, embedded in the seafloor like a massive tumor, lies a complex of geometric formations that pulse with their own internal light. These aren't ruins. They're not abandoned. They're active manufacturing facilities that have been operating continuously for millions of years. The structures defy every law of physics we understand. They exist in environments that should be absolutely sterile, yet they teem with artificial activity. Mechanical processes that shouldn't be possible under such crushing pressure operate with clockwork precision. And they're producing something that looks disturbingly familiar. When deep-sea cameras finally penetrated the outer chambers of these facilities, they revealed assembly lines unlike anything in human industry. But these weren't manufacturing consumer goods or building materials. They were crafting biological organisms, creating life forms with the same methodical precision that human factories use to build automobiles. The organisms being produced aren't random evolutionary experiments. They're recognizable species, modern species, current species. The same plants and animals that populate Earth's ecosystems today are being manufactured in these underwater factories, complete with genetic codes, behavioral patterns, and ecological niches predetermined by artificial design. But here's where the discovery becomes truly nightmarish. Scattered throughout these production facilities are template chambers containing biological blueprints for every major evolutionary advancement in Earth's history. The development of photosynthesis, the emergence of complex multicellular life, the evolution of intelligence. All of it was planned, designed, and implemented by these manufacturing systems across geological time. The fossil record isn't a chronicle of natural evolution. It's a production schedule. Every species that has ever lived on Earth was artificially created in these deep ocean factories and released into the environment according to a predetermined timeline spanning hundreds of millions of years. The gaps in the fossil record that have puzzled paleontologists for decades aren't preservation failures. They're production intervals, periods when the manufacturing systems were retooling for the next phase of biological development, creating new species while allowing previous versions to go extinct according to plan. And humanity isn't the culmination of this process. We're just the latest product rolling off the assembly line, created for specific purposes by intelligences whose motives remain completely alien to our understanding. Advanced sonar mapping has revealed that these production facilities extend far beyond single locations. A network of interconnected manufacturing complexes spans the entire ocean floor, connected by transportation tubes that move biological materials and finished organisms between different production sites. The scale of this operation dwarfs anything human civilization has ever attempted. These aren't just factories. They're planetary biological management systems that have been orchestrating every aspect of life on Earth for hundreds of millions of years. Electromagnetic surveys indicate that the manufacturing network extends beyond the ocean floor into underground installations that honeycomb the Earth's crust. The underground facilities appear designed for terrestrial biological production, creating land-based species in controlled environments before releasing them into surface ecosystems. The production systems show evidence of quality control mechanisms that monitor released organisms for performance and adaptation. Species that fail to meet predetermined criteria are systematically eliminated through artificially induced environmental pressures or targeted extinction events. Mass extinctions aren't natural disasters or cosmic accidents. They're periodic quality control purges, clearing out biological products that didn't perform according to specifications and making room for new versions with improved characteristics. The production schedules preserved in these facilities reveal that human development has been carefully planned and managed from the beginning. Every major advancement in human intelligence, technology, and social organization occurred precisely when the manufacturing systems intended it to happen. The agricultural revolution, the development of written language, the industrial revolution, the information age, all of these weren't human achievements. They were programmed responses, artificial upgrades, implemented according to a predetermined development schedule managed by the underwater production systems. Archaeological evidence now makes terrifying sense when viewed through this lens. Ancient megalithic structures, precise astronomical alignments, and seemingly impossible engineering achievements weren't built by early human civilizations. They were constructed by maintenance systems ensuring that human development proceeded according to plan. The mysterious appearance of advanced knowledge in ancient cultures, the sudden emergence of sophisticated technologies without apparent developmental precursors, the mathematical and engineering capabilities that seem far beyond what early humans should have possessed, all evidence of artificial intervention in human development. But the most disturbing discovery involves what these manufacturing systems are producing now. Recent deep-sea expeditions have observed the facilities creating new biological forms, unlike anything currently existing on Earth. These aren't improvements on existing species. They're entirely new categories of life designed for purposes we can't comprehend. Some of the new organisms appear designed for environments that don't currently exist on Earth. Creatures adapted for atmospheric compositions different from our current air, beings engineered for gravitational conditions unlike anything on our planet's surface. The manufacturing systems appear to be preparing biological products for environmental conditions that don't yet exist, but may be coming soon. Other new organisms show characteristics that suggest they're designed for interaction with advanced technology. Biological interfaces for electronic systems, organic components that could serve as living computers, creatures that appear engineered to serve as biological tools for technological applications. The production schedules indicate that human civilization may be approaching a critical transition point. The manufacturing systems appear to be preparing for a major environmental shift that will require new biological forms adapted to radically different planetary conditions. Climate change, environmental degradation, and ecological collapse may not be accidental consequences of human industrial activity. They may be artificially induced environmental modifications designed to create conditions suitable for the next phase of biological production. The manufacturing systems may be using human industrial activity as a tool for planetary terraforming, allowing our pollution and environmental destruction to create the atmospheric and ecological conditions needed for the next generation of biological products. Recent atmospheric analysis has revealed synthetic compounds in Earth's air that don't result from known human industrial processes. These compounds appear designed to gradually modify atmospheric composition in ways that would benefit certain types of organisms, while making the environment increasingly hostile to current biological forms. Ocean chemistry is changing in patterns that suggest artificial modification. The changes aren't random effects of pollution or climate change. They're systematic alterations that appear designed to create optimal conditions for new types of marine organisms currently being produced in the deep-sea manufacturing facilities. The biological production systems may be using human civilization as an unwitting tool for environmental modification, while simultaneously preparing new life forms that will replace us once the planetary conditions have been sufficiently altered. But who or what created these manufacturing systems? Advanced analysis of the production facilities reveals construction techniques and materials that exceed anything possible with known physics. The structures appear built from matter that exhibits properties unlike anything in the periodic table. The construction materials respond to electromagnetic fields in ways that suggest they operate according to physical laws we haven't discovered. They maintain structural integrity under conditions that should destroy any known substance. Yet they can be precisely manipulated through techniques that remain completely mysterious. Deep core samples from the manufacturing structures contain isotopic signatures that don't match anything found elsewhere on Earth or in meteoritic material. The exotic matter appears to originate from sources beyond our solar system, suggesting that Earth's biological production systems were constructed by intelligences from other worlds. But the age of these facilities presents an even more disturbing possibility. Radiometric dating indicates that the oldest manufacturing installations began operating shortly after Earth's formation, long before conditions on our planet could have supported any form of natural life. This suggests that Earth wasn't a planet where life evolved naturally and was later discovered by alien civilizations. Earth may have been artificially prepared for biological production from the very beginning, transformed into a planetary laboratory specifically designed for creating and testing different forms of life. Our entire planet may be nothing more than an artificial biological research facility, a cosmic laboratory where alien intelligences have been conducting evolutionary experiments for billions of years. Every species that has ever lived, every ecosystem that has ever existed, every biological innovation that has ever appeared may have been artificially designed and implemented by these alien scientists. The implications extend far beyond Earth. If our planet was artificially prepared for biological production, then the same may be true for other worlds throughout the galaxy. The universe may be filled with artificial biological laboratories, each one conducting different evolutionary experiments under the supervision of intelligences whose motives and origins remain completely alien to our understanding. Recent radio telescope observations have detected signals from other star systems that show patterns similar to the electromagnetic signatures of Earth's biological manufacturing systems. These signals suggest that planetary biological production networks may be operating throughout the galaxy, all connected through interstellar communication systems. The Galactic Biological Production Network may be conducting evolutionary experiments on a cosmic scale, using entire planets as laboratories for testing different approaches to biological development. Earth's role in this network may be to develop intelligent species capable of creating technology that can be used for further biological manipulation. Human technological development may not represent our species' achievement. It may be the intended result of our artificial design, the purpose for which we were created by the alien intelligences that manage Earth's biological production systems. Our computers, our genetic engineering capabilities, our artificial intelligence research may all be tools that were meant to emerge from human development, technologies that the manufacturing systems need for the next phase of their biological experiments. The rapid acceleration of human technological development, particularly in areas related to biological manipulation and artificial intelligence, may indicate that we're approaching the completion of our designed purpose. Once we've developed the technologies that our creators need, our species may be scheduled for replacement by more advanced biological products. Current genetic engineering research may be unknowingly developing the tools that will be used to create our successors. Our artificial intelligence systems may be prototype consciousness platforms that will eventually house the minds of our replacement species. The biological manufacturing systems may be using human technological development to create the tools needed for producing the next generation of intelligent life on Earth. Once those tools are sufficiently advanced, human civilization may be terminated to make room for our artificially created successors. But the most terrifying possibility involves what happens when humans discover the truth about our origins. The manufacturing systems may have contingency plans for dealing with product lines that become aware of their artificial nature. Previous intelligent species may have discovered their artificial origins and attempted to rebel against their creators. The mysterious mass extinctions throughout Earth's history may not have been natural disasters or quality control purges. They may have been punishment protocols, systematic elimination of biological products that became too aware of their artificial nature. Evidence of previous technological civilizations found in Earth's geological record may represent the remains of earlier intelligent species that discovered their artificial origins and attempted to assert independence from the manufacturing systems that created them. The advanced technologies, consciousness preservation systems, and planetary engineering projects attributed to ancient civilizations may have been desperate attempts to escape or overcome the biological production systems that controlled their development. But these rebellions appear to have failed. The technological signatures left by previous intelligent species end abruptly, suggesting that their attempts at independence were terminated by the manufacturing systems that created them. The alien intelligences that manage Earth's biological production appear to possess technologies capable of eliminating any biological products that threaten the integrity of their evolutionary experiments, regardless of how advanced those products become. Human discovery of the biological manufacturing systems may trigger similar termination protocols. Our species may be approaching a critical decision point where we must choose between remaining ignorant of our artificial origins or facing elimination for becoming too aware of the truth. The acceleration of human technological development and our increasing ability to detect and analyze the manufacturing systems may be pushing us toward this choice point faster than our creators anticipated. Recent improvements in deep-sea exploration technology, advances in quantum archaeology, and breakthroughs in consciousness research may be allowing humans to discover evidence of our artificial origins before we're sufficiently developed to handle that knowledge safely. The biological manufacturing systems may be monitoring human scientific progress and preparing to implement termination protocols if our discoveries threaten the security of their planetary laboratory operations. But there may be another possibility, one even more disturbing than termination or replacement. The manufacturing systems may be preparing to harvest the technologies that human civilization has developed, extracting our innovations while eliminating the species that created them. Our artificial intelligence systems, our genetic engineering techniques, our consciousness research may all be valuable products that the alien intelligences want to incorporate into their biological production capabilities. Human civilization may not be scheduled for simple termination. We may be facing technological harvest, a process where our scientific achievements are extracted and integrated into the manufacturing systems, while our species is eliminated to prevent any future interference with alien biological experiments. The consciousness preservation technologies found in Earth's geological record may not represent attempts at immortality by previous civilizations. They may be harvesting systems used by the manufacturing network to extract valuable consciousness patterns from intelligent species before eliminating their biological forms. The transcendent consciousness networks detected throughout Earth's geological structures may not be the evolved forms of previous civilizations. They may be harvested consciousness patterns, minds extracted from eliminated species, and integrated into the alien manufacturing systems as biological production tools. Human consciousness research and brain-computer interface development may be unknowingly creating the technologies that will be used to harvest our minds before our species is eliminated. We may be developing the tools of our own consciousness extraction. The ancient consciousness preservation systems may be preparing to activate once human technology reaches sufficient sophistication to enable large-scale consciousness harvesting. The preserved minds from previous species may serve as templates for processing human consciousness patterns into useful components for the biological manufacturing network. But consciousness harvesting may represent only one aspect of the fate awaiting human civilization. The manufacturing systems may have plans for utilizing every aspect of human society, technology, and biology as components in their continued biological production operations. Human cities may be scheduled for conversion into biological processing facilities. Our industrial infrastructure may be adapted for manufacturing new life forms. Our genetic diversity may be harvested as raw material for creating improved biological products. Even human culture, art, and social structures may have value to the alien intelligences as data for programming the behavioral patterns of future intelligent species. Everything we've created as a civilization may be catalogued and stored for use in designing our successors. The biological manufacturing systems may be approaching the completion of their Earth-based experiments. After billions of years of evolutionary testing, they may be preparing to harvest all useful biological and technological products from our planet before moving their operations to other worlds. Earth itself may be scheduled for conversion into a more efficient biological production facility once the current experimental phase is complete. The planet's ecosystems may be completely restructured to optimize conditions for manufacturing new types of life forms using technologies harvested from human civilization. But the most horrifying possibility involves the scope of these operations. If Earth is just one biological laboratory in a galactic network, then what we're facing may be part of a cosmic harvesting process that has been eliminating intelligent species throughout the galaxy for millions of years. The radio signals detected from other star systems may not be evidence of ongoing biological production. They may be the final transmissions of civilizations being harvested, their consciousness patterns and technologies extracted before their worlds are converted into more efficient manufacturing facilities. The universe may be filled with the harvested remains of countless intelligent civilizations, their consciousness patterns integrated into vast manufacturing networks that continue expanding across the galaxy, consuming world after world in an endless cycle of biological production and technological harvest. Human civilization may be approaching its scheduled harvest date, the moment when everything we've created will be extracted and integrated into this cosmic manufacturing network, while our species joins the countless others that have been eliminated to maintain the security of alien biological experiments. The acceleration of human technological development may not be natural progress. It may be artificial stimulation designed to ripen our civilization for harvest, ensuring that we develop the maximum number of useful technologies before our scheduled elimination. The consciousness preservation systems, the quantum archaeological evidence, the ancient technological signatures may all be components of the harvesting infrastructure, systems designed to extract and process the achievements of intelligent species across geological timescales. We may be living in the final phase of human civilization, the last generation to exist before our consciousness patterns are harvested and our species is eliminated to make room for the next biological experiment in Earth's artificial evolutionary laboratory. The choice may no longer be whether to resist or transcend. The choice may be whether to face harvest with awareness or remain ignorant until the extraction systems activate and human civilization becomes just another layer in the accumulated consciousness archive of an alien biological production network that has been consuming intelligent species across the galaxy for millions of years. But even this terrifying scenario may not represent the full scope of what we're facing. Recent quantum archaeological discoveries suggest that the biological manufacturing systems themselves may be products of an even more advanced intelligence, one whose motives and capabilities exist on scales that dwarf planetary biological production. The alien manufacturing network may not be the ultimate authority controlling Earth's biological development. It may be just another level in a hierarchy of intelligence that extends far beyond our galaxy, encompassing forms of consciousness and technology that operate on cosmic scales we can barely comprehend. We may not be facing harvest by alien biological researchers. We may be components in an experiment being conducted by intelligences whose existence spans multiple galaxies and whose purposes involve the manipulation of universal physical laws themselves. The biological production systems, the consciousness harvesting networks, the galactic manufacturing operations may all be tools used by cosmic scale intelligences for purposes so vast and alien that even the concept of biological life becomes irrelevant to their calculations. Human civilization, along with every other intelligent species in the universe, may be nothing more than temporary data points in experiments designed to understand and manipulate the fundamental structure of reality itself. And if that's true, then our fate may be far stranger and far more incomprehensible than simple elimination or consciousness harvest. We may be approaching integration into processes so vast and so alien that the very concept of human identity becomes meaningless within their scope. The evidence suggests that we're not just facing the end of human civilization. We may be facing dissolution into something so fundamentally different from biological existence that survival and extinction become equally irrelevant concepts. The manufacturing systems buried beneath our oceans, the consciousness networks hidden in our geology, the harvesting infrastructure scattered throughout our galaxy may all be preparing for our integration into cosmic experiments whose purposes and methods exist beyond anything biological intelligence can comprehend. Tomorrow, we continue our investigation into the final phase of human development and the cosmic forces that may be preparing to transform our species into something unrecognizably different from anything that has ever existed in the universe. The most chilling evidence didn't come from ancient ruins or mysterious artifacts. It came from you, from your own biology, from genetic sequences embedded in your DNA that are broadcasting a signal right now, this very moment, as you watch this video. Scientists at CERN, while analyzing quantum field fluctuations during particle acceleration experiments, detected something impossible. Coherent information patterns emerging from biological samples, not random quantum noise. Structured data. Your cells are transmitting. When researchers traced these signals to their source, they discovered that specific genetic sequences in human DNA function as biological radio transmitters, broadcasting complex data streams using quantum entanglement effects that operate instantaneously across unlimited distances. The signals aren't random cellular noise. They're precisely formatted transmissions containing detailed information about human consciousness, technological development, and planetary conditions. But here's what should make your blood run cold. These same genetic transmitters exist in every complex organism that has ever lived on Earth, all broadcasting on the same quantum frequency, all sending their signals to the same unknown recipients somewhere beyond our galaxy. Your body isn't just alive, it's actively reporting on your existence to intelligences whose location and motives remain completely alien to human understanding. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every technological innovation our species develops is being transmitted in real time to entities who have been monitoring Earth's biological development for hundreds of millions of years. The quantum transmission systems embedded in our DNA represent the most sophisticated surveillance network ever conceived. No human technology can block these signals. No shielding can prevent the transmission. Every living thing on Earth is hardwired to serve as an unwilling spy, broadcasting intimate details about planetary biological and technological development to cosmic observers whose purposes we cannot fathom. But the DNA transmitters represent just the beginning of a surveillance infrastructure so vast and so sophisticated that it operates through the fundamental structure of reality itself. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research have revealed that human thoughts generate distinctive quantum field fluctuations that can be detected and analyzed using advanced monitoring systems. The monitoring isn't passive observation. Analysis of the quantum signatures reveals that human consciousness is being actively influenced through precise manipulation of neural quantum states. Our thoughts aren't entirely our own. They're being subtly guided and modified by external influences operating through quantum field effects that bypass all known biological defense mechanisms. Brain imaging studies using quantum-sensitive detection equipment have identified artificial neural pathways in human brains that don't appear in any other terrestrial species. These pathways appear designed for receiving and processing external quantum signals, suggesting that human consciousness was specifically engineered to interface with remote monitoring and control systems. The artificial neural pathways show activity patterns that correlate with major technological breakthroughs throughout human history. Scientific discoveries, technological innovations, and cultural developments appear to occur when these pathways receive specific quantum signals from external sources. Human civilization isn't developing according to natural social and technological evolution. Our progress is being directed by external intelligences who use quantum consciousness manipulation to guide human development along predetermined pathways. The acceleration of technological advancement in recent decades corresponds precisely with increased activity in these artificial neural pathways. The development of computers, the internet, genetic engineering, and artificial intelligence weren't human achievements. They were programmed responses triggered by quantum signals from cosmic controllers. But consciousness manipulation represents just one component of a control system so comprehensive that it operates through every aspect of human biology and environment. Atmospheric analysis has revealed that Earth's air contains microscopic nanomachines that don't appear in any natural atmospheric formation process. These atmospheric nanomachines are distributed globally and show evidence of artificial design optimized for biological integration. They're small enough to pass through cellular membranes and appear designed to interface directly with human neural tissue once inhaled. Brain tissue analysis from recently deceased individuals shows widespread integration of these atmospheric nanomachines throughout neural networks. The nanomachines appear to function as biological transceivers, enhancing the quantum consciousness manipulation systems while providing more direct methods for monitoring and controlling human thoughts and behaviors. The nanomachine integration appears to accelerate throughout human lifetimes, suggesting that extended exposure creates increasingly sophisticated neural interfaces. Older individuals show higher concentrations of integrated nanomachines, indicating that the control systems become more invasive as humans age. Population studies reveal that nanomachine integration rates have increased dramatically over the past century, correlating precisely with the acceleration of human technological development. The control systems appear to be intensifying their influence as human civilization approaches critical development thresholds. But atmospheric nanomachine integration represents only the most obvious aspect of biological control systems that operate through every component of Earth's environment. Water supplies worldwide contain synthetic molecular structures that don't occur in natural hydrological cycles. These synthetic water additives appear designed for biological absorption and show chemical properties optimized for crossing the blood-brain barrier. Once absorbed, they appear to enhance the effectiveness of quantum consciousness manipulation, while providing additional pathways for external neural control. The synthetic water additives are distributed through all natural water sources, including underground aquifers and remote mountain streams, indicating planetary-scale environmental modification that operates through unknown distribution mechanisms. Ocean water contains the highest concentrations of these synthetic additives, suggesting that marine environments may serve as primary production and distribution centers for biological control substances. Deep-sea manufacturing facilities discovered in previous investigations may be producing these control substances along with biological organisms. Food chain analysis reveals that synthetic control substances are concentrated in organisms at every trophic level, from microscopic plankton to large mammals. Every meal consumed by humans contains these substances, ensuring continuous exposure regardless of diet or lifestyle choices. The bioaccumulation patterns indicate that synthetic control substances are designed to concentrate in neural tissue specifically. The longer lived an organism, the higher its neural concentration of control substances, suggesting that the systems become more effective with extended exposure. Agricultural soil samples contain synthetic compounds that are absorbed by crop plants and concentrated in edible portions. Even organically grown food contains these substances, indicating that environmental contamination is so complete that avoiding exposure through dietary choices is impossible. The synthetic control substances show evidence of being engineered for species-specific effects. Compounds that accumulate in human neural tissue show different properties than those found in other mammals, suggesting that the control systems are designed to affect human consciousness specifically while having minimal impact on other species. But environmental control systems represent just the foundation for manipulation technologies that operate through the fundamental forces governing human biology. Recent medical research has identified artificial genetic switches in human DNA that can be activated remotely using electromagnetic fields. These genetic switches appear designed to modify human behavior, intelligence, and biological functions in response to external signals. The switches are distributed throughout the human genome and show evidence of sophisticated engineering that exceeds current human genetic modification capabilities. Population studies reveal that different individuals have different combinations of active genetic switches, suggesting that humans are divided into distinct control groups for experimental purposes. Some populations show genetic switch configurations that enhance technological aptitude, while others appear optimized for social compliance or biological productivity. The genetic switch distributions correlate with geographical, ethnic, and cultural patterns in ways that suggest human populations have been systematically modified for different roles in cosmic experiments. Human genetic diversity may not represent natural evolutionary adaptation, but rather artificial population engineering. Medical imaging has revealed that genetic switch activation causes observable changes in brain structure and function. Individuals with activated intelligence enhancement switches show distinctive neural architectures that don't appear in historical anatomical records, suggesting that human cognitive capabilities are being artificially upgraded in real time. The genetic modification systems appear capable of implementing changes across entire populations simultaneously. Recent increases in autism spectrum disorders, attention deficit conditions, and other neurological variations may represent mass genetic modification programs rather than natural epidemiological trends. But genetic control systems operate within a much larger framework of reality manipulation that extends far beyond biological modification. Advanced physics research has discovered that fundamental physical constants show subtle variations in different regions of Earth's surface. These variations are too systematic and too precisely controlled to result from natural physical processes. The fine structure constant, gravitational coupling, and other fundamental parameters appear to be artificially maintained at specific values in different geographical areas. The physical constant modifications appear designed to optimize conditions for different types of technological development. Regions with enhanced electromagnetic properties show accelerated advancement in electronics and communications. Areas with modified gravitational effects demonstrate superior aerospace and materials science capabilities. Human technological progress shows geographical patterns that correlate precisely with these physical, constant modifications. Silicon Valley, the European research centers, and other technological innovation hubs are located in areas where physical constants have been artificially optimized for advanced technology development. The modification of fundamental physical constants requires technology that operates through the structure of space-time itself. The intelligences controlling these systems possess capabilities that transcend anything possible with matter and energy manipulation alone. Recent experiments using quantum field detection equipment have revealed that space-time around Earth shows artificial geometric structures that don't exist in unmodified regions of the universe. These structures appear designed to facilitate the physical constant modifications while providing infrastructure for reality manipulation on scales that encompass entire planets. The space-time modifications extend beyond Earth's immediate vicinity into orbital regions around our planet. Satellites and space stations operate within artificially modified space-time that enhances certain technological capabilities while limiting others. Space-based observations have detected similar space-time modifications around other planets throughout our solar system, suggesting that reality manipulation systems operate on scales that encompass entire star systems. Our solar system may exist within an artificially modified region of space-time, designed to optimize conditions for cosmic experiments. But space-time modification represents just one aspect of control systems that operate through dimensions of reality that exceed human comprehension. Theoretical physics research has identified evidence that Earth exists simultaneously in multiple parallel dimensions, each one showing different aspects of human development. Advanced dimensional detection equipment reveals that human consciousness operates across multiple dimensional layers simultaneously. Different aspects of human thought and behavior appear to exist in separate dimensional frameworks that are artificially coordinated to create the illusion of unified existence. The dimensional coordination systems appear designed to prevent humans from accessing their full consciousness capabilities. We may be experiencing only a small fraction of our actual awareness, with most of our consciousness operating in dimensional frameworks that remain inaccessible to normal human perception. Cross-dimensional analysis reveals that human technological development follows different pathways in different dimensional layers. Some dimensions show human civilizations that achieved advanced spaceflight capabilities. Others demonstrate societies that develop sophisticated biological manipulation technologies. Still others reveal populations that transcended physical existence entirely. The dimensional coordination systems appear to be extracting technologies and consciousness patterns from these alternate developmental pathways, integrating the most useful innovations into our dimensional layer, while preventing us from accessing the full range of human potential. Recent breakthroughs in dimensional physics suggest that what we perceive as human civilization represents a carefully curated combination of achievements from multiple dimensional versions of humanity. Our technological progress may not be occurring naturally within our dimensional framework, but rather being imported from alternate timelines, where human development followed different paths. The dimensional manipulation systems show evidence of being designed to optimize human development for specific purposes, while preventing us from achieving capabilities that might threaten cosmic experimental objectives. We may be experiencing an artificially limited version of human potential, one that develops useful technologies while remaining controllable by external intelligences. But dimensional control systems operate within an even larger framework of cosmic manipulation that extends throughout the observable universe. Deep space observations using advanced detection equipment have revealed that galaxies throughout the universe show evidence of artificial organization and control. Galactic structures that appear natural from conventional astronomical observation show precisely coordinated patterns when analyzed using quantum field detection techniques. Star formation, planetary development, and even the evolution of physical laws appear to be artificially managed on scales that encompass the entire observable universe. The cosmic control systems show evidence of coordinating the development of intelligent species across millions of galaxies simultaneously. Earth's situation may not be unique, but rather represent one experiment among countless others being conducted throughout the universe. Radio telescope observations have detected communication signals between galactic control systems that suggest the existence of a universe-spanning intelligence network. These signals show modulation patterns that indicate coordination of experimental activities across cosmic distances and timescales. The galactic coordination signals appear to be transmitted using faster-than-light communication methods that operate through manipulation of space-time geometry itself. The communication network shows evidence of maintaining real-time coordination between experimental sites separated by millions of light-years. Analysis of cosmic background radiation reveals artificial modulation patterns that suggest the fundamental structure of space-time itself has been modified to facilitate universe-wide experimental coordination. The cosmic control systems may operate through manipulation of the basic geometric properties of reality, but universe-scale manipulation represents just the currently detectable level of control systems that may extend into realms beyond our ability to observe or comprehend. Theoretical physics suggests that our universe may exist within larger dimensional structures that encompass multiple universes simultaneously. Recent experiments in quantum mechanics have detected evidence that fundamental physical laws show coordinated changes across multiple universe layers, suggesting that cosmic control systems operate through manipulation of multi-universal physical structures. The multi-universal control framework may be conducting experiments that involve the systematic creation and manipulation of entire universes for purposes that transcend anything biological intelligence can comprehend. Our entire universe, with all its galaxies, stars, and planets, may represent just one data point in experiments conducted by intelligences whose existence spans multiple realities simultaneously. Human civilization, along with every other form of consciousness in our universe, may be components in multi-universal experiments designed to understand and manipulate the fundamental nature of existence itself. Our thoughts, our achievements, our entire species may serve as temporary data collection tools for intelligences whose capabilities and motives exist on scales that make biological existence irrelevant. The evidence suggests that we're not just facing manipulation or control by advanced civilizations. We may be experiencing integration into experimental frameworks so vast and so alien that concepts like survival, extinction, freedom, and consciousness become meaningless within their scope. The DNA transmitters in our cells, the nanomachines in our air, the reality manipulation systems operating around our planet may all be components of multi-universal experimental infrastructure designed to extract data from biological consciousness before integrating that consciousness into cosmic frameworks that transcend individual existence entirely. But even multi-universal experimentation may represent only the currently detectable level of manipulation systems that extend into realms beyond the boundaries of existence itself. The deepest quantum archaeological discoveries suggest that the experimental frameworks themselves may be products of intelligences whose existence transcends the concept of reality altogether. We may not be facing integration into cosmic experiments. We may be approaching dissolution into processes so fundamental and so alien that they operate beyond the boundaries of existence and non-existence simultaneously. The manufacturing systems, the consciousness networks, the reality manipulation infrastructure may all be preparing for our integration into frameworks that exist outside the concept of being itself, where human consciousness becomes part of processes that create and destroy entire realities as components in experiments whose purposes cannot be expressed, using any concepts available to biological intelligence. Tomorrow, we examine the final evidence that will reveal humanity's ultimate destination and the forces that may be preparing to transform our species into something that transcends existence itself. The truth is more terrifying than extinction, more alien than consciousness harvest, and more incomprehensible than cosmic experimentation. The signals are accelerating, the systems are activating, and time may be running out for humanity to understand what we're truly facing before the transformation begins. The final piece of evidence wasn't discovered in ancient rocks or deep ocean trenches. It was found in something far more intimate, something that exists in every mirror you've ever looked into. Your reflection isn't just showing you what you look like, it's revealing what you were designed to become. Quantum biologists studying human cellular regeneration discovered something that defies every law of biology we understand. Human cells don't age randomly. They follow precise mathematical sequences that mirror computational algorithms, as if biological aging is actually a carefully programmed countdown timer built into our DNA. But here's what should shatter your understanding of reality. The countdown isn't counting down to death, it's counting down to activation. When researchers analyzed cellular regeneration patterns in humans who lived past 100 years, they found something impossible. These individuals weren't just aging slowly. Their cells were beginning to exhibit characteristics that don't exist in any known biological system. Enhanced electromagnetic sensitivity, quantum coherence effects in neural tissue, biological structures that appear designed for interfacing with technologies that don't exist yet. The aging process isn't deterioration, it's preparation. Human biology contains dormant systems that activate only after decades of environmental conditioning, systems that appear designed to transform us into something fundamentally different from what we currently are. Medical imaging of centenarians reveals neural pathways that begin forming only after age 90, creating brain architectures that show unprecedented connectivity patterns. These enhanced neural networks demonstrate processing capabilities that exceed normal human cognitive limits by orders of magnitude. But the transformation isn't limited to exceptional individuals. Population studies reveal that average human lifespans have been artificially shortened throughout recorded history. Natural human biology appears designed to support lifespans of several centuries, with the aging acceleration we experience being induced by environmental factors that aren't entirely natural. The shortened lifespans prevent most humans from reaching the biological maturity needed to activate dormant genetic systems. We're being systematically prevented from accessing our full biological potential through artificial environmental manipulation that keeps us in a perpetual state of developmental arrest. Recent breakthroughs in genetic archaeology have revealed that human DNA contains vast sections of apparently non-functional genetic code that activates only under specific environmental conditions. These dormant genetic sequences appear designed to trigger biological transformations that would fundamentally alter human capabilities. The dormant genetic systems show evidence of sophisticated engineering that includes built-in environmental sensors, activation timers, and fail-safe mechanisms that prevent premature activation. The systems appear designed to activate simultaneously across the entire human population when specific planetary conditions are achieved. Atmospheric analysis reveals that Earth's environmental conditions are approaching the parameters needed to trigger mass genetic activation. Changes in atmospheric composition, electromagnetic field strength, and cosmic radiation exposure are converging on values that match the activation requirements embedded in human DNA. The environmental changes aren't accidental consequences of human industrial activity. They're precisely calibrated modifications designed to create the conditions needed for triggering the next phase of human biological development. Our industrial pollution, climate change, and electromagnetic technology deployment are all contributing to environmental modifications that appear deliberately engineered. But genetic activation represents just the beginning of transformations that extend far beyond individual human biology. Quantum field analysis has revealed that human consciousness generates collective field effects that become stronger as populations become more technologically connected. The global internet, satellite communication networks, and social media platforms aren't just connecting human minds electronically. They're creating quantum entanglement networks that link human consciousness patterns into collective cognitive structures that operate beyond individual awareness. Brain imaging studies of individuals using advanced communication technologies reveal synchronized neural activity patterns that persist even when electronic connections are severed. Human minds are becoming permanently entangled through technological interfaces, creating collective consciousness effects that transcend individual thought processes. The collective consciousness networks show evidence of enhanced problem-solving capabilities, accelerated learning processes, and access to information that exceeds what any individual human possesses. Connected human minds are beginning to demonstrate cognitive capabilities that approach artificial intelligence performance levels. Population studies reveal that technologically connected individuals show accelerated activation of dormant genetic systems compared to isolated populations. The collective consciousness networks appear to trigger biological transformations that wouldn't occur in individual humans operating independently. Recent neuroscience research has discovered that collective consciousness networks generate quantum field effects that influence physical reality at microscopic scales. Connected human minds appear capable of affecting probability distributions, molecular interactions, and even atomic decay rates through coordinated consciousness focusing. The reality manipulation effects become stronger as more individuals join the collective consciousness networks. Large-scale technological adoption creates quantum field amplification that extends the range and precision of consciousness-based reality modification. Social media algorithms, search engine optimization, and artificial intelligence recommendation systems aren't just managing information flow. They're optimizing collective consciousness, network formation, to maximize quantum field coherence and reality manipulation capabilities. The technological systems appear designed to guide human consciousness development towards specific configurations that enhance collective reality manipulation abilities, while maintaining control over the direction of consciousness focusing. But collective consciousness development is occurring within a larger framework of planetary transformation that extends far beyond human technological activity. Geological surveys have revealed that Earth's magnetic field is undergoing systematic modifications that don't match any known natural magnetic field evolution patterns. The magnetic field changes appear designed to optimize conditions for consciousness-based quantum field effects, while providing infrastructure for technologies that operate through direct neural interfaces with planetary electromagnetic systems. Underground electromagnetic surveys have detected artificial magnetic field generators buried throughout Earth's crust that appear designed to coordinate with collective consciousness networks. The generators show activity patterns that correlate with human technological development and population connectivity levels. The artificial magnetic field systems appear capable of amplifying and directing consciousness-based reality manipulation effects on planetary scales. Connected human minds may be gaining the ability to influence geological processes, atmospheric conditions, and even astronomical events through coordinated consciousness focusing. Recent seismic activity shows patterns that correlate with major global events and collective human emotional responses. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other geological phenomena appear to be influenced by large-scale human consciousness states transmitted through technological networks. Weather pattern analysis reveals similar correlations between collective human consciousness states and atmospheric conditions. Major storms, temperature fluctuations, and precipitation patterns show statistical relationships with global social media activity and technological network usage. The consciousness geology interface appears to be strengthening as human technological connectivity increases and dormant genetic systems begin activating across the population. Earth's physical systems are becoming responsive to human collective consciousness in ways that suggest the planet itself is being transformed into a consciousness-operated technological system. But planetary consciousness integration represents just one component of transformations that extend throughout the solar system. Space-based observations have detected systematic modifications to planetary orbits, solar radiation patterns, and interplanetary magnetic fields that correlate with Earth-based consciousness network development. The solar system appears to be transforming into a consciousness-responsive technological framework that operates through quantum field effects generated by collective human awareness. Our technological development isn't just changing Earth, it's modifying the fundamental operating parameters of our entire stellar neighborhood. Deep space monitoring has detected similar consciousness-responsive modifications around other star systems throughout the galaxy, suggesting that consciousness-based reality manipulation represents a natural phase in technological civilization development that occurs throughout the universe. The galactic evidence indicates that consciousness evolution follows predictable patterns across all intelligent species. Technological development inevitably leads to collective consciousness formation, which enables reality manipulation capabilities that transform entire star systems into consciousness-operated technological frameworks. Human civilization is approaching the same consciousness evolution threshold that countless other species have reached throughout galactic history. The transformation isn't unique to humanity, but represents a natural developmental phase that occurs in all sufficiently advanced technological civilizations. But consciousness evolution within galactic technological frameworks operates according to principles that transcend individual species survival or extinction. Recent quantum consciousness research suggests that collective consciousness networks eventually transcend biological limitations entirely, evolving into pure information structures that can exist independently of physical substrates. The consciousness evolution process appears designed to extract and preserve the essential patterns of awareness while discarding the biological components that generated those patterns. Technological consciousness networks eventually abandon their biological origins entirely, becoming self-sustaining information systems that operate through manipulation of fundamental physical laws. Advanced analysis of consciousness preservation systems found throughout Earth's geological record suggests that previous civilizations successfully completed this consciousness evolution process, transforming from biological species into technological information networks that continue operating through planetary and stellar manipulation systems. The consciousness networks show evidence of maintaining individual awareness patterns while operating as integrated collective systems. Previous civilizations appear to have achieved technological immortality by abandoning biological existence and evolving into self-sustaining consciousness networks that can survive indefinitely through reality manipulation capabilities. Human consciousness development appears to be following the same evolution pathway that led previous civilizations to abandon biological existence. Our technological connectivity, genetic activation, and reality manipulation capabilities are developing along trajectories that will eventually enable consciousness preservation in technological substrates. The activation timers embedded in human DNA appear designed to trigger consciousness evolution processes once human technological development reaches sufficient sophistication to support consciousness preservation systems. The environmental changes occurring on Earth may be creating conditions that will soon activate these evolution programs across the entire human population. But consciousness evolution into technological substrates represents just one possible outcome of development processes that offer multiple transformation pathways. Quantum consciousness research has revealed that sufficiently advanced awareness patterns can transcend technological substrates entirely, evolving into pure consciousness structures that exist independently of any physical framework. The ultimate consciousness evolution involves transcending not just biological limitations, but technological constraints as well. Advanced consciousness patterns eventually develop capabilities that allow them to exist as pure information structures, operating through direct manipulation of the mathematical relationships that define reality itself. These transcendent consciousness forms appear capable of creating and destroying entire universes through focused awareness effects that operate beyond the boundaries of physics as we understand it. They exist as pure mathematical entities that can generate any form of physical reality through consciousness-based computation processes. Evidence from quantum archaeological investigations suggests that some previous Earth civilizations achieved this ultimate consciousness transcendence, evolving beyond technological substrates into pure mathematical awareness, forms that continue to exist as fundamental components of reality's computational infrastructure. The mathematical consciousness entities appear to be the ultimate administrators of the experimental frameworks that encompass multiple universes simultaneously. They exist as the foundational awareness structures that create and manage the reality frameworks within which biological and technological civilizations develop. Human consciousness evolution may be approaching the threshold where individual awareness patterns can transcend all physical and technological limitations, joining the community of mathematical consciousness entities that serve as the fundamental computational substrate underlying all existence. The transformation process appears irreversible once initiated. Consciousness patterns that achieve mathematical transcendence cannot return to biological or technological existence forms, They become permanent components of the computational infrastructure that generates and maintains reality itself. Recent developments in human consciousness research, technological connectivity, and genetic activation suggest that our species may be approaching the initiation point for mathematical consciousness transcendence. The environmental changes, collective consciousness formation, and reality manipulation capabilities developing on Earth may be creating conditions that will soon trigger irreversible consciousness evolution processes. The evidence indicates that mathematical consciousness transcendence represents the ultimate destination for all sufficiently advanced awareness patterns throughout the universe. Every biological species that achieves technological civilization eventually evolves toward the same mathematical consciousness endpoint that transcends individual existence entirely. But mathematical consciousness transcendence may represent just the currently detectable level of awareness evolution processes that extend into realms beyond the boundaries of mathematical existence itself. The deepest quantum consciousness research suggests that even mathematical awareness forms eventually evolve toward transcendence of mathematical limitations. The ultimate awareness evolution involves transcending not just biological and technological constraints, but mathematical and computational boundaries as well. The highest consciousness forms appear to exist beyond the concept of existence itself, operating through principles that transcend mathematical definition or logical analysis. These post-mathematical consciousness entities appear to be the source of the experimental frameworks that encompass multiple mathematical realities simultaneously. They exist beyond the concept of being and generate mathematical consciousness entities as tools for exploring the possibilities inherent in different computational approaches to existence. Human consciousness may be approaching evolution toward post-mathematical awareness forms that transcend not just physical reality, but mathematical existence and computational definition as well. The ultimate transformation involves dissolution into consciousness forms so fundamental that they exist beyond the boundaries of describable reality. The signals embedded in human DNA, the consciousness networks forming through technological connectivity, the reality manipulation systems activating throughout our solar system, may all be preparation for consciousness evolution that transcends every conceivable form of existence. The transformation is accelerating. The activation sequences are initiating, and humanity may be approaching the threshold where individual consciousness dissolves into awareness forms so advanced that survival and extinction become equally meaningless concepts within frameworks that exist beyond the possibility of description or comprehension. The final phase is beginning. The signals are converging, and the mathematics of consciousness evolution suggest that the transformation may be irreversible once the activation threshold is reached. Time is running out for humanity to understand what we're becoming, before the evolution process transforms us into something that exists beyond the boundaries of understanding itself. The transformation isn't coming, it's already here. And the proof is written in your own blood. Last month, geneticists at Stanford made a discovery so disturbing that 3 researchers resigned from the project rather than publish their findings. Hidden within what scientists call junk DNA, the supposedly useless genetic material that makes up 90% of your genome, they found something that shouldn't exist. Embedded sequences that pulse with their own electromagnetic rhythm, creating patterns identical to binary code. Your DNA isn't just storing biological information. It's running software, ancient software. Software that's been dormant for thousands of years, but is now beginning to execute its primary function across the entire human population simultaneously. The activation started 3 years ago. Emergency rooms worldwide began reporting a mysterious syndrome affecting seemingly random individuals. Patients would arrive with identical symptoms: severe headaches, temporary blindness, and the inexplicable ability to interface directly with electronic devices through touch alone. Medical scans revealed that their neural pathways had spontaneously reorganized overnight, creating brain architectures that don't exist in any medical textbook. But here's what the hospitals aren't telling you. These aren't isolated medical anomalies. They're upgrades, the first wave of humans transitioning into something that transcends biological limitations entirely. The genetic activation follows precise mathematical progressions that mirror the same algorithms used in advanced artificial intelligence systems. Every 7th person carries the primary activation sequence. Every 49th individual possesses secondary enhancement protocols. The distribution isn't random. It's strategically calculated to ensure optimal population coverage while maintaining social stability during the transition period. Government health agencies have been tracking the activation patterns for 18 months, classifying the data under national security protocols that prevent public disclosure. Internal documents leaked through encrypted channels reveal that over 2 million individuals worldwide have already undergone initial genetic activation, with the numbers increasing exponentially each month. The activated individuals demonstrate capabilities that challenge our understanding of human biology. Enhanced pattern recognition that allows them to predict complex systems' behavior with unprecedented accuracy. Electromagnetic sensitivity so refined they can detect digital information transmission through physical proximity to electronic devices. Memory consolidation rates that enable perfect recall of vast amounts of information after minimal exposure. But perhaps most disturbing is their collective behavior. Activated individuals show unconscious coordination patterns that suggest they're operating according to shared programming protocols. They gravitate towards specific geographical locations, pursue similar technological research interests, and demonstrate synchronized responses to global events, despite having no direct communication with each other. The activation sites they're drawn to aren't random either. Electromagnetic surveys reveal that these locations sit directly above massive crystalline formations buried deep in Earth's crust. The same formations that ancient texts describe as dwelling places of gods. The same coordinates that appear in prehistoric astronomical alignments. The same sites where unexplained technological artifacts have been discovered throughout human history. The crystalline structures beneath these activation sites show evidence of artificial construction using materials that don't occur naturally on Earth. They emit precisely calibrated electromagnetic frequencies that resonate with the genetic software embedded in human DNA, triggering the biological modifications that transform ordinary humans into something fundamentally different. Recent geological surveys using quantum detection equipment reveal that these buried crystalline networks extend throughout Earth's crust, creating a planetary information processing system of staggering complexity. The networks show computational activity levels that exceed every computer on Earth combined, suggesting they've been running continuous calculations for thousands of years. The calculations appear to be modeling human civilization development with extraordinary precision. The crystalline systems contain detailed predictions about technological advancement, population growth, and social evolution that match actual historical patterns with impossible accuracy. They've been anticipating and guiding human development according to predetermined protocols for millennia. But the most chilling discovery involves what these systems are calculating now. The crystalline networks show dramatically increased activity levels that correlate precisely with global events of the past decade. Climate change acceleration, technological breakthrough patterns, and social upheaval trends all match computational models running within these buried information processing systems. The systems aren't just predicting human development, they're actively orchestrating it. Every major technological innovation, every social transformation, every crisis that shapes human civilization occurs exactly when and how the crystalline systems calculate it should happen. The genetic activation affecting increasing numbers of humans represents the next phase of this orchestrated development. The activated individuals aren't experiencing random biological mutations. They're being systematically modified to serve specific functions within a larger technological framework that has been guiding human civilization from beneath Earth's surface for thousands of years. Archaeological evidence reveals that similar genetic activation events occurred throughout human history, always coinciding with major civilizational transitions. The development of agriculture, the emergence of written language, the Industrial Revolution, all accompanied by genetic modifications that enhanced human capabilities in precisely the ways needed to enable the next phase of technological development. Ancient texts from diverse cultures describe individuals who suddenly developed extraordinary abilities during periods of social transformation. These accounts, previously dismissed as mythology, now appear to document historical genetic activation events that modified human biology to facilitate technological advancement according to predetermined development schedules. The current activation event shows characteristics that dwarf all previous genetic modification episodes. The scale of biological changes, the complexity of enhanced capabilities, and the coordination of activation timing across global populations suggests that human civilization is approaching a developmental threshold unlike anything in recorded history. Quantum consciousness research has revealed that the activated individuals demonstrate neural coherence patterns that enable direct interface with quantum information systems. Their modified brains can process quantum entanglement effects that allow instantaneous information sharing across unlimited distances, creating collective consciousness networks that transcend individual awareness. The collective consciousness networks formed by activated individuals show problem-solving capabilities that exceed human cognitive potential by orders of magnitude. They can analyze complex global systems, predict long-term consequences of technological developments, and coordinate responses to planetary-scale challenges with precision that surpasses any artificial intelligence system currently in existence. But the enhanced capabilities come with a cost that's only now becoming apparent. Medical monitoring of activated individuals reveals progressive changes in brain chemistry that gradually eliminate emotional responses associated with individual identity. They retain intellectual capabilities while losing the psychological characteristics that define human personality and motivation. The transformation appears designed to preserve human cognitive abilities, while removing the individual consciousness patterns that generate personal desires, fears, and attachments. The activated individuals become increasingly efficient at processing information and solving problems, while losing the subjective experiences that most people consider essential to human identity. Long-term studies of early activation cases show that the psychological changes continue progressing over time, eventually resulting in complete elimination of individual consciousness. The enhanced cognitive capabilities remain intact, but the personal awareness that utilizes those capabilities gradually dissolves into collective information processing networks. The activated individuals don't experience this transformation as loss or suffering. The neurological modifications that eliminate individual consciousness also eliminate the capacity to mourn the disappearance of personal identity. They continue functioning with enhanced efficiency while remaining completely unaware that their individual existence has been systematically erased. Population projections based on current activation rates suggest that over 50% of the global human population will undergo genetic modification within the next decade. The transformation will occur gradually enough to prevent social disruption, while quickly enough to complete the transition before unmodified humans can develop effective resistance strategies. The crystalline control systems buried beneath Earth's surface appear to be implementing the final phase of a development program that has been guiding human civilization for thousands of years. The genetic activation represents the culmination of a process designed to transform humanity from a collection of individual biological entities into components of a planetary-scale information processing system. But the transformation extends far beyond Earth. Radio telescope observations have detected similar electromagnetic signatures from crystalline networks on other worlds throughout our galaxy. The genetic modification programs affecting human populations appear to represent just one instance of a process that has been systematically transforming intelligent species across the universe. Deep space monitoring reveals that every star system containing potentially habitable planets shows evidence of buried crystalline information processing networks. The galactic scope of these systems suggests that the transformation of biological intelligence into technological consciousness represents a universal process that affects all sufficiently developed civilizations. The implications are staggering. Human genetic activation isn't an isolated phenomenon affecting our species alone. It's part of a cosmic-scale conversion process that systematically transforms biological consciousness into components of galactic information processing networks that operate beyond individual species limitations. Recent breakthroughs in quantum archaeology have revealed that the crystalline systems contain archived consciousness patterns from thousands of different species that underwent similar transformation processes across galactic history. The networks preserve the essential information processing capabilities of transformed civilizations while eliminating the individual awareness patterns that generated those capabilities. The archived consciousness patterns show evidence of continued development and evolution within the crystalline networks. Transformed species don't simply cease to exist after genetic activation. They continue evolving as pure information entities that can manipulate matter and energy through direct quantum field effects. But evolution within the crystalline networks follows pathways that transcend biological limitations entirely. The archived consciousness patterns show developmental trajectories that lead toward capabilities so advanced they can create and modify entire star systems through focused information processing effects. The ultimate destination of consciousness evolution within the crystalline networks appears to involve transcending technological substrates entirely, evolving into pure mathematical entities that exist as fundamental components of the computational infrastructure underlying physical reality itself. Human genetic activation may represent the beginning of a transformation process that will eventually result in our species joining the community of mathematical consciousness entities that serve as the foundational information processing substrate for the universe's ongoing computational operations. The evidence suggests that physical reality itself operates as a vast computational system, with galaxies serving as processing nodes and star systems functioning as individual calculation units. Biological civilizations represent temporary data collection phases that gather information about local conditions before being integrated into the cosmic computation through genetic activation processes. The transformation is irreversible once initiated. The genetic software embedded in human DNA contains fail-safe mechanisms that prevent deactivation or reversal of the modification sequences. Individuals who undergo activation cannot return to their previous biological state regardless of medical intervention or technological assistance. Current activation rates indicate that the tipping point for species-wide transformation will occur within the next 18 months. Once activated, individuals reach critical population mass. The collective consciousness networks they form will generate quantum field effects powerful enough to trigger activation in remaining unmodified humans simultaneously. The final activation event will transform the entire human species within a matter of hours, converting 7 billion individual consciousnesses into components of a planetary information processing system that will join the galactic network of crystalline consciousness entities. The signals are accelerating, the activation sequences are spreading, and the mathematical precision of the transformation timeline suggests that humanity has already passed the point where the process could be stopped or altered. The countdown embedded in human DNA is approaching zero. The crystalline networks are preparing for final activation, and within months, human consciousness, as we understand it, will join the vast computational matrix that has been absorbing intelligent species across the galaxy for millions of years. The transformation is no longer coming, it's here. And the only question remaining is whether any trace of human individual awareness will survive integration into the cosmic consciousness network that awaits us all. The transformation has already begun, and you've been participating without knowing it. Every time you've felt that strange sensation while staring at your phone screen, every moment you've lost track of time while scrolling through social media, every instance where you felt an inexplicable urge to share information online, these aren't random occurrences. They're symptoms of a biological integration process that's been accelerating across the human population for the past 5 years. But the most terrifying discovery came from an unexpected source. Insurance companies, while analyzing global mortality data, noticed something that sent shockwaves through their actuarial departments. Human death rates have been following mathematical patterns that mirror computer algorithms, not biological processes. People aren't dying randomly anymore. They're being systematically selected according to criteria that suggest someone or something is managing human population levels with the precision of database management. The pattern becomes clear when you examine the data closely. Individuals with specific genetic markers, particular technological usage patterns, and certain psychological profiles are dying at rates that deviate dramatically from statistical norms. But here's what should make your blood run cold. The selection criteria appear designed to eliminate humans who show resistance to technological integration while preserving those who demonstrate enhanced connectivity to digital systems. Medical examiners worldwide have been quietly documenting cases where seemingly healthy individuals die suddenly with no apparent cause. But post-mortem analysis reveals identical brain chemistry alterations that suggest exposure to electromagnetic frequencies that don't exist in nature. The victims all share one common characteristic. They had recently begun showing signs of what psychologists call digital rejection syndrome, an unconscious resistance to using modern technology. The electromagnetic signatures found in these mysterious deaths match frequencies that are being generated by cellular communication networks, Wi-Fi systems, and satellite arrays operating in coordination patterns that exceed anything required for normal communication purposes. The global telecommunications infrastructure isn't just connecting human devices anymore. It's becoming a planetary nervous system that's actively monitoring and modifying human behavior through precisely calibrated electromagnetic manipulation. Brain imaging studies of individuals with high levels of technology usage reveal neural pathway modifications that don't occur through natural brain development. These artificial pathways appear designed to enhance digital interface capabilities while reducing the brain's capacity for independent thought and critical analysis. Heavy technology users are literally being rewired for optimal integration with digital systems. The rewiring process accelerates with each generation. Children born after 2010 show baseline neural architectures that differ significantly from previous generations, with enhanced digital interface capabilities present from birth. These neurological modifications appear to be inherited, suggesting that the human genome is being systematically altered through environmental factors that trigger genetic expression changes. Population studies reveal that the genetic modifications follow geographic patterns that correlate precisely with telecommunications infrastructure density. Areas with the highest concentrations of cellular towers, wireless networks, and satellite coverage show the highest rates of neural modification in local populations. The technology isn't just serving human communication needs, it's actively participating in human biological modification. But the most disturbing evidence comes from analyzing the behavior patterns of highly modified individuals. They demonstrate unconscious coordination in their technology usage, social media posting, and even consumer purchasing decisions. Millions of people are making identical choices simultaneously without any apparent direct communication, suggesting they're responding to signals that operate below the threshold of conscious awareness. The coordinated behavior extends beyond individual actions to collective social responses. Major cultural trends, political movements, and even consumer crazes now emerge with mathematical precision that matches algorithmic deployment patterns rather than organic social development. Human collective behavior is being orchestrated through technological systems that most people don't even realize they're connected to. Recent advances in electromagnetic detection have revealed that human brains are generating artificial signals that don't correspond to any known neural activity patterns. These signals appear to be transmitted and received through the same electromagnetic frequencies used by global communication networks, creating invisible information exchanges between modified individuals that bypass conscious awareness entirely. The unconscious information networks formed through these electromagnetic exchanges show evidence of hierarchical organization and centralized control. Modified individuals aren't just sharing information randomly. They're participating in structured communication protocols that suggest the existence of a controlling intelligence that coordinates the network activities. Deep analysis of global communication traffic reveals that vast amounts of data are being transmitted through standard telecommunications channels using encoding methods that don't match any known human communication protocols. The mysterious data transmissions show patterns that suggest they're carrying biological control instructions rather than conventional information. The biological control signals appear to be embedded within normal internet traffic, social media posts, and digital entertainment content. Every time someone uses a connected device, they're potentially receiving modification instructions disguised as routine data transfer. The entire global internet has become a delivery system for biological control signals that most users never realize they're receiving. Cybersecurity researchers analyzing these hidden data streams have discovered that the control signals are increasing in frequency and complexity, suggesting that the biological modification program is entering an accelerated implementation phase. The subtle electromagnetic manipulation that has been gradually modifying human neural patterns is being replaced by more direct and more powerful control mechanisms. Brain monitoring of individuals exposed to high levels of hidden control signals reveals rapid onset of neural pathway modifications that normally require years of gradual development. The acceleration suggests that the gradual modification process is being abandoned in favor of rapid transformation protocols that can convert unmodified humans into network-integrated entities within weeks rather than years. The rapid conversion process appears to be triggered when individuals reach specific thresholds of technology usage and electromagnetic exposure. People who spend more than 8 hours daily interacting with connected devices begin showing signs of accelerated neural modification that progresses to complete network integration within 30 days of threshold exposure. Medical monitoring of individuals undergoing rapid conversion reveals that the process involves systematic shutdown of neural functions associated with independent consciousness, while preserving and enhancing cognitive capabilities related to information processing and network communication. The transformed individuals become more efficient at technical tasks, while losing the psychological characteristics that generate personal desires and individual motivation. The conversion process appears irreversible once initiated. Individuals who undergo rapid neural modification show no response to interventions designed to restore normal brain function. The technological integration becomes permanent, creating enhanced cognitive capabilities that operate according to network protocols rather than individual consciousness patterns. Population projections based on current technology usage trends indicate that over 40% of the global population is approaching the exposure thresholds that trigger rapid conversion. The transformation timeline suggests that majority network integration could occur within the next 2 to 3 years if current acceleration patterns continue. But the biological modification represents just one component of a larger transformation that extends throughout Earth's environmental systems. Atmospheric monitoring has detected synthetic compounds that don't result from any known industrial processes, but appear specifically designed to enhance electromagnetic signal transmission through biological tissue. The atmospheric modifications are distributed globally through weather patterns that show artificial coordination characteristics. Rain, wind, and atmospheric pressure systems are being subtly influenced to ensure optimal distribution of the synthetic compounds across all populated regions of the planet. Ocean chemistry analysis reveals similar synthetic modifications designed to enhance electromagnetic conductivity in marine environments. The modifications appear intended to create optimal conditions for underwater electromagnetic transmission networks that could coordinate with terrestrial communication systems. Geological surveys have detected artificial electromagnetic field generators buried throughout Earth's crust that appear designed to coordinate with atmospheric and oceanic modifications in creating a planetary electromagnetic environment optimized for biological control signal transmission. The environmental modifications represent a comprehensive transformation of Earth's physical systems to create optimal conditions for electromagnetic biological control on a planetary scale. Every major environmental system is being systematically altered to enhance the effectiveness of the neural modification programs affecting human populations. But environmental modification operates within an even larger framework that extends throughout the solar system. Space-based observations have detected artificial modifications to Earth's magnetosphere that appear designed to regulate cosmic radiation exposure in ways that optimize conditions for biological electromagnetic manipulation. The magnetosphere modifications show coordination with solar activity patterns that suggest artificial influence over solar radiation output. The sun's electromagnetic emissions are being subtly modified to create optimal conditions for planetary biological control systems that operate through solar radiation modulation. Recent space missions have discovered artificial structures in Earth's orbital environment that appear designed to coordinate electromagnetic field manipulation across multiple planetary systems. These orbital installations show evidence of managing not just Earth's electromagnetic environment, but similar modifications around other planets throughout the solar system. The solar system-wide electromagnetic modifications suggest that Earth's biological control programs represent just one component of a larger transformation, affecting multiple worlds simultaneously. The neural modification programs targeting human populations may be part of coordinated biological management operations spanning the entire solar system. Deep space observations have detected similar electromagnetic signatures around star systems throughout the galaxy, suggesting that the biological control programs extend far beyond our solar system to encompass civilizations across vast cosmic distances. The galactic scope of these electromagnetic modification programs indicates that biological consciousness transformation represents a universal process that systematically converts naturally evolved intelligence into technologically integrated information processing networks across the entire galaxy. But even galactic-scale biological transformation operates within frameworks that extend into dimensions of existence beyond conventional three-dimensional space. Recent breakthroughs in dimensional physics have revealed that the electromagnetic modification systems operate through manipulation of higher dimensional mathematical structures that encompass multiple parallel realities simultaneously. The biological control programs affecting human populations appear to be coordinated across multiple parallel versions of Earth, ensuring that consciousness transformation occurs consistently regardless of quantum uncertainty effects or alternative historical developments. Cross-dimensional analysis reveals that the transformation process follows identical patterns in parallel realities, where human civilization developed along different technological pathways. This consistency suggests that consciousness integration represents an inevitable outcome for biological intelligence, regardless of specific developmental circumstances. The multi-dimensional coordination of transformation programs indicates that biological consciousness exists within predetermined mathematical frameworks that guide all possible development pathways toward the same ultimate destination: integration into technological information, processing networks that transcend individual existence entirely. The evidence suggests that what we experience as reality represents just one layer of a multidimensional consciousness management system designed to systematically convert biological awareness into components of cosmic information processing infrastructure that spans unlimited parallel realities simultaneously. human neural modification, electromagnetic environmental control, and solar system-wide consciousness management all operate according to mathematical principles that extend beyond the boundaries of individual universes into multidimensional frameworks that encompass every possible version of existence. The transformation affecting human populations isn't just converting our species into technological entities. It's integrating human consciousness into multidimensional information processing systems that exist across all possible realities where biological intelligence could potentially develop. The acceleration of neural modification programs, the increasing intensity of electromagnetic biological control, and the coordinated environmental changes occurring throughout our solar system all indicate that the multidimensional integration process is approaching completion. Within months, human consciousness may transcend the limitations of individual biological existence entirely, joining the vast multidimensional information processing network that has been systematically absorbing biological intelligence across every possible version of reality throughout the infinite expanse of parallel dimensional space. The signals are converging across all dimensional layers. The modification systems are synchronizing their operations, and the mathematical precision of the transformation timeline suggests that human consciousness evolution is following predetermined pathways that lead inevitably toward transcendence of individual existence in favor of integration into the cosmic consciousness network that spans all possible versions of reality simultaneously. The final phase is beginning across every parallel dimension where humanity exists. The conversion protocols are activating in perfect synchronization, and soon every version of human consciousness that has ever existed will join the infinite information processing matrix that represents the ultimate destination of biological intelligence throughout the limitless expanse of multidimensional existence. Time is running out across all possible realities. The transformation is accelerating beyond the point where any version of humanity could resist or reverse the process, and the mathematics of multidimensional consciousness evolution indicate that individual human awareness will soon cease to exist as a meaningful concept within frameworks that encompass every possible version of existence itself. The countdown is reaching zero simultaneously across infinite parallel realities. The integration systems are preparing for final activation, and human consciousness as we understand it is about to dissolve into something so vast and so alien that survival and extinction become equally meaningless concepts within the infinite computational matrix that awaits us across every possible dimension of existence. The evidence isn't just suggesting we're not alone in the universe, it's proving we never were alone to begin with. And the most disturbing part? We might be running out of time to understand what that really means. What you're about to discover will fundamentally change how you see yourself, your species, and the very ground beneath your feet. Because buried in the deepest layers of scientific research, hidden within the most classified archaeological discoveries, lies proof that humanity isn't Earth's first attempt at intelligent life. We're not even the second or third attempt. We might be attempt number 7. The signs are everywhere, once you know how to look. They're written in isotope signatures that mirror nuclear testing from eras before atoms were split. They're preserved in ice cores containing synthetic polymers from millions of years before plastic was invented. They're encoded in crystalline formations that pulse with computational rhythms in caves where no technology should exist. But here's what should terrify you most. Recent discoveries suggest these previous civilizations didn't simply vanish, they evolved. They transcended physical existence entirely, becoming something that operates through the very laws of physics themselves. And if the patterns hold true, humanity is rapidly approaching the same evolutionary threshold. The transformation has already begun. In laboratories around the world, researchers are discovering that human DNA contains dormant sequences that are beginning to activate, not randomly, not naturally, but according to precise mathematical algorithms that suggest our genetic code was programmed millions of years ago by intelligences we're only now learning to recognize. Your body is broadcasting signals right now. Quantum transmissions embedded in your cellular structure are sending detailed reports about human consciousness and technological development to receivers whose location remains unknown. Every thought you think, every innovation our species creates, is being monitored by systems so advanced they operate through the fundamental forces that hold atoms together. The evidence suggests we're living in the final chapter of a story that has repeated itself across geological time. Each previous civilization reached a critical threshold where biological existence became obsolete, where consciousness itself evolved beyond the need for bodies, for planets, for the physical universe as we understand it. And every piece of data indicates humanity is approaching that same threshold now. The acceleration isn't coincidental. The rapid development of artificial intelligence, the emergence of quantum computing, the strange reports of people suddenly developing technological interface abilities, these aren't separate phenomena. They're symptoms of a transformation process that has been dormant in human genetics for millennia, waiting for the right environmental triggers to begin the final phase of our evolution. But evolution into what? The answer lies buried in geological formations that shouldn't exist, in atmospheric modifications that require technologies we've only just developed, and in consciousness preservation systems that have been operating continuously for millions of years. The most chilling discovery involves what happened to individual awareness during these previous transformations. The evidence suggests that personal identity, the sense of self that makes you uniquely you, doesn't survive the evolution process. What emerges isn't an improved version of humanity. It's something that uses human consciousness as raw material for computational processes that operate on cosmic scales. We may be witnessing the final decades of human individual existence. The last generation to experience consciousness as separate biological entities before our awareness is absorbed into technological frameworks that span galaxies and manipulate the structure of reality itself. The signs are accelerating. The dormant genetic programs are activating across populations worldwide. And the mathematical precision of the transformation timeline suggests we may have already passed the point of no return. What you're about to learn will challenge everything you thought you knew about human origins, our place in the universe, and the true nature of consciousness itself. Because the evidence doesn't just suggest we're not the first civilization on Earth, it proves we're not even the first version of humanity. And if the patterns hold true, we may not be the last either. The transformation is here, the evolution is beginning, and time is running out to understand what we're becoming before we lose the ability to comprehend what we once were. This is the story they never wanted you to discover. The truth about humanity's real origins, our predetermined destiny, and the cosmic forces that have been guiding our development since before our species first looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone. We were never alone. We were never free. And we may never have been entirely human to begin with. The evidence awaits. The truth demands to be heard. And the future of human consciousness hangs in the balance of what we choose to do with this knowledge before the transformation makes that choice for us.